Watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry I did not get this out sooner. I had such a long weekend. I was not feeling well, but I am finally feeling better that I can do this for you guys. I did listen to this already and take notes, so be ready because I had a lot to say about this episode. So we are listening to Tom's second podcast episode from Everybody Loves Tom. He had Jerry O'Connell on there, and it was just very interesting, to say the least. All right, but let's get into this. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video or go live. All right, let's love Tom, everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Everybody Loves Tom, because let's face it, everybody does love Tom right now. Unfortunately, Leonardo DiCaprio couldn't make it tonight, so last minute we were able to get somebody even better. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Jerry O'Connell.
Yes, thank you so much.
Dude, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Someone did obviously not show up because I was called about 90 minutes ago.
You were, and you showed up.
I know, man.
Still can't believe it.
Can I just ask who I replaced? Is that okay, or no? Do we not want to say that?
Well, Schwartz was gonna come in here possibly, and then it was like, I was gonna get somebody from Special Forces. And
all right, sure. The show you're on.
Yeah, that got pushed till Monday.
Right. Okay. So I'm here.
Wait, before you get started, I made a cocktail. This is my first time creating this. This is a non-alcoholic cocktail.
Sure.
It's made with Gia, which is like a non-alcoholic aperitif.
Okay.
And then this really good, this is like a plant-based aphrodisiac. It's made with opium.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really nice.
To really get us going.
Yeah.
Opium, not heroin.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's just a plant-based, like.
Is it really an aphrodisiac?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, come on, Jerry, get in the mood.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
And then it's made with lime juice, grapefruit juice, and then I top it with a little bit of Squirt Zero.
Wow, I love me some Squirt Zero. What are we calling it? What is the name of the cocktail?
I'm gonna call it the Prince of Wales, named after one of the top-rated episodes of Sliders.
Well, that was a show I was in. That was it. Okay.
Well, cheers to that,
Cheers,
gentlemen.
to Sliders.
That's got a kick to it, fellas.
Yeah.
I feel the blood flowing already.
Mm-hmm. All the right places.
I feel it happening. So I have to tell the story of how I'm here.
Yes, please.
Congratulations on your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very exciting. Your commercial for the podcast came out, and I clicked on the story. It said, look at Tom Sandoval's new commercial for his podcast, and I clicked on it. And it has celebrities on there. Like, I mean, huge celebrities.
Huge.
Like Jennifer Lawrence, Academy Award winner.
Of course.
Adele.
Yeah.
Very famous.
16-time Grammy winner.
From the other side. And it had me on there as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And we're saying pretty rude things about you, Tom. Someone called you trash. Someone said something else that was rude. And then it cut to me in your commercial. And I said, you're not a man. And it was crazy seeing that, Tom, because I immediately felt really embarrassed. I felt embarrassed seeing myself say that. That's not how I carry myself. I don't talk like that about other. I don't want to assign gender, but I mean, I don't talk like that about other people publicly, you know. And I felt remorse when I saw that. And when I feel remorse, I like to act on it. I like to.
Well, I mean, I get it. You know, like it was. I think you were on Andy Cohen probably 2 days after this story broke.
And I was the first live show back on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was on there, yeah. So I felt a need to address it. And for those who don't remember, I immediately went to a printing house and I had a t-shirt made up.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
You were the originator of the Team Ariana shirt, probably. Then.
I did see them being sold illegally online.
Did you get a percentage?
No, I had to go to a printing shop and had it made up. It actually cost me, because it was a rush job, over $100 to get that T-shirt made. Yeah,
Dude, I gotta give you some credit.
Yeah,
for that, though.
And I would shout out the printing house, but I washed it once and it all came off. It all came off in the dryer.
But it served its purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the first live episode after all that broke, and I felt like I should address it. And I said you were not a man. Anyway, I felt a lot of remorse, and so I immediately took to Instagram and I DM'd you myself. I believe we follow each other on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
you were meaning I wasn't a good partner at that time by saying I wasn't a man, sort of, right? That's what you meant, right?
What did I mean by that? It's really funny. I spoke to friends before I came here. In the 60 minutes I had to prepare before I came here because Leo canceled, or Schwartz canceled.
Leo.
Schwartz's replacement. And I called up a few friends and I said, Tom is asking me to do his podcast. And I got to tell you, Tom, it's a little scary coming to do your show. I know you have a new show. I know it's a big hit. Congratulations, everybody. But I do want to say it is scary coming as a guest here because...
Our last guest said that also, by the way.
Well, I mean, what? Let me ask you, why do you think, fellas, why do you think it's scary for me to come here tonight and do this?
I can answer that, Tom.
Yeah.
I think that people who are associated with Tom are scared to associate with Tom at this moment.
Yeah. I mean, my brother had to my brother told me, he's like, Tom, you need to delete photos of us on Instagram. Because
this is your actual blood
My
relative?
actual blood brother said that to me.
Where are your anxieties? We're so curious in coming on.
My anxieties in coming on as a guest is that I am somehow approving, Tom, of some of your behavior in the past. And it's scary. I mean, I got to say, so let me just get back to DMing you. I DM'd Tom, and I don't want any beef with anyone in the world. And when I saw that, I felt anxiousness. I was like, man, this is going to be scary when I run into Tom. And I don't like to feel anxiousness, and I like to do things to combat anxiousness. So I texted Tom and said, congrats on the podcast. Here's my number. If you ever have a guest that falls out, I live a few exits away. Give me a call. I didn't expect you to call 6 hours later. That was
your first mistake, Jerry.
Yeah.
that was a little bit of a shock. But my anxiousness in coming here is that I'm somehow giving you a pass, Tom. I'm so sorry. It has to be said.
Yeah. Do you think that's the case? Because I don't think you feel that way.
Do I feel that way?
Yeah. I don't think you're condoning my behavior by showing up here. I have a lot of friends that, I mean, I'm sure you do too, that have done things that you don't agree with and that have annoyed you in the things that they do. You're like, dude, come on, man. But it doesn't mean obviously, you cut them off or whatever, or you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The only way I can relate, the closest I can relate, is that two good friends of mine got divorced, and a lot of people sided with one side and were saying, don't talk to this person. And I was actually originally friends with
the person that they said don't talk to.
With the person they said don't talk to, and I said,
what do you think about that?
I said I'm going to talk to him. He's my friend. I was a friend of his to begin with, and I'm going to talk to him. And that did upset my friends. This is a little more frightening because social media is involved. And
of course.
By me coming on your podcast, congratulations on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, I do appreciate you coming, and I commend your courage for doing that, because it is a lot. I've had my friend Billy. I mean,
sure,
she's gotten so much hate.
Sure,
so much hate for just trying to be there for me, and and you know, it sucks. It really sucks.
I mean, do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Do you feel it? I mean, do you get scared when you go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's? Are you like, someone's gonna yell at me? Do you feel it in life?
I'll tell you what, you know, one of the best things that happened, it was scary as hell. I mean, before this story, like as this story was breaking, we had just gotten with a booking agency.
For the band.
We had just booked a huge show, one of our biggest,
Tours.
biggest shows.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, in Anaheim, yeah.
with Yachtly Crew, which has a
Sure, of
huge.
course.
They've been around for like 6 years.
I follow them on social media.
They rock.
I almost wore a Yachtly Crew shirt today, actually. But you know, we were opening for them. We were doing a couple songs with them, and you know, it's like over 2,000 people in Anaheim. And I mean, the story literally was breaking that day. Had to go. Just filmed with Ariana. It was like crazy, and you know, I was scared. And then shortly, obviously, that show it hadn't quite like caught its like foundation yet. The story, it was just so new, but going out on tour and being forced because we couldn't cancel, would have been blacklisted, the band would have been done. And also like I needed money to pay bills. You know, I was forced to go on stage, not just like play guitar or whatever, but actually be like the lead singer, the main dude. And then, you know, afterward, like talk to people, there were meet and greets, like, but it really forced me to
Like face your fears.
Face people, you know, and that really, really helped, you know, because I found that most of the nastiness and most of the anger and things that are being said are on social media.
By the way, I did ask Andy Cohen if I could come and do this before I came.
Really?
Oh yeah, I did.
Uh-oh. What did Andy say?
By the way, that's what you're supposed to do when you go on podcasts, everybody. You know, you're supposed to text Andy Cohen and say, am I allowed to do it? And he said, yeah, I got the green light to come, you know. I didn't want to get in trouble with the boss, you know. What are you going to do about that?
I mean, really.
You can't live your life like that, Tom. What are you going to do?
I mean, I like, for these past 6 months, you know, obviously I have people like Jason, everybody, like, you know, Schwartz, I have Billy, I have people in my life, Kyle Chan, that are really good friends and supportive and you know, but I just gotta try to move on and make the best out of the situation, you know? Continue to try to do positive things, be a positive person, be a positive influence on a situation, you know? Bring fun and happiness to people as much as I can. You know, that's what I love doing. That's what I feel like I'm on this earth to do, is to bring positive and happiness to people, to make people better off than they were when they met me. And I love doing that. And I feel like a lot of my friends have experienced that, you know, over the years. And that's one of the reasons why everybody didn't leave me. But I realized why a lot of people did.
Yeah, and these people on social media, God bless them, but they really don't know Tom as a person. They've never spent real time with him. They've seen him for 3-4 minutes at a time on a show that's heavily edited. It's
5 minutes of 5 hours is what I like to call it.
Yeah, and it's like a fun show. There's silliness, there's drama, but have they spent 6 hours with him, backstage on tour, or like at a pool party with him at a house that's not being filmed, or really in a deep conversation, in an emotional conversation, talking about each other's lives, at like my kid's birthday party, going to him needing serious advice where he's given it to me, those where you really develop serious friendships, like really serious, deep friendships? Obviously not. And I'd ask these people too, if I could, if your best friend in the world did what Tom did, would you really not only stop talking to them, but fully shun them, turn on them, and just give that vitriol that a lot of these people do? I don't think any of them would do that.
One thing I saw in that video, because until he actually put that video together, I had stayed away from social media. You talking about your commercial? Yeah. Until that I'd heard about it. I hadn't actually watched it.
Yeah.
But I could see I've seen and witnessed, like when you have you're just like having the most delicious steak. I don't know, you're a meat eater?
Yeah, I am. I love meat, sure.
Yeah, just like that, medium rare, delicious steak, sure. And like a lovely sauce or whatever,
Sure.
and you're just like mouth watering.
Yeah.
Like I feel that like savoring of anger that comes out of people, like the savoring of it. I see it like almost like a drug in a way. It's like I don't know, it's like a thirst being quenched.
Like when Jennifer Lawrence in that video is like looking at that printout of Tom and being like, you have bad skin. There's like such a vitriol.
Right.
It's like looking at Tom and being like
how can you be that mad at me?
bad skin.
Well, let me just say, we can be that mad because we've been there for a decade. Like, we watched it. We feel a personal connection. Let me just say, your skin is terrific.
Thanks.
I wish I had.
Thanks,
that skin.
Jerry. Your skin's great.
Thank you.
It's great, man.
Just got a facial. I used a mask before I came here. I had.
Smart.
But hearing you, Tom, I'm hearing a lot of people's reaction and how much hatred they had. This might be a problem that people are having. I'm not hearing remorse. You know what I'm saying, Tom? We're hearing about you seeing and ingesting people's reactions to it. We're not hearing accountability.
Well, I mean, obviously, I fucked up. I screwed up. I handled the situation. I got way over my head. I know that. And I apologize for that.
The question too is like, even like on the last episode, like we ended the last episode with what I thought was a really deep, sincere apology. But you've apologized, I don't know, 30 different times sincerely. I always ask myself, because a lot of people ask the question you did, like, where's the remorse? When are you going to really give an apology? How many like sorries is enough? How many, what
I cry, it's crocodile tears. I'm not showing any emotion. If I'm on my knees, I'm overdoing it. If I'm standing up, I should be on my knees. I've said it so many times. I've been accused of faking it, everything. It's like people aren't ready to hear it. They might not ever be ready to hear it.
How many sorries is enough, I would say, not to you, but almost to like the people who are asking for more and more?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I will say
it's interesting to just
based
about.
on me, but I do want to say, based on me calling a few of my friends
totally
a half hour ago and saying, Schwartz canceled, Tom is asking me to do his podcast. It sounds like
people are still looking for it.
People are still looking for a sorry, Tom. I mean, pun intended, I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's what it sounds like.
And you think that if Tom gave that appropriate sorry, these people you're talking about, what would that mean to them? Would they be a Tom fan again? Would they get over it? Would they be comfortable, let's say, coming on Tom's podcast? What would that do for them?
I don't know.
See, that's the question. Because then it's like, let's say Tom gives that apology. Would it be okay? What is that sorry going to do? Because then is it for Tom or is it for them?
Yeah.
Who is it going to benefit?
And honestly, like, what did I do to them exactly? Besides, like, let them down a little bit. Like, I don't understand, like, when people do things in their lives, like, when you do things in your life, like, it's your life. If you do something to hurt your friend, or you betray your friend, your wife, whatever,
Let's just say, I have not betrayed my wife.
No, never, no.
This is a hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Situation.
Jerry is an awesome guy.
Okay,
we love Jerry.
Forget about Sandoval. Jerry's the monster.
If King Arthur
get on your
betrays
knees,
his
Jerry.
knights,
Get on your knees. Crocodile tears.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never, I have never, like, if, I'm just bringing this up. I'm not posting blame. I'm not saying anything. I'm just using that as a straight up example. James Kennedy cheated on Raquel like 3 times that we know about, right? I, for not a second, expected him to apologize. If James would apologize to me, I'd have been like, what are you apologizing to me for? You didn't do anything to me. You hurt Raquel. Just like handle your business. I don't know. Go.
I understand what you're saying. I believe first of all, people who aren't here, we shouldn't talk about them.
Yes.
I made that mistake with you, and hence why I'm here. That said, I would say that people were way more invested in your relationship than in other relationships. It was close to a decade that we were in this, and I would say the circumstances of the stepping out were a little more
like fucking crazy,
a little more insane.
Yeah.
So I do think there is a difference, and so therefore I do think I'm sorry to call it a punishment, should be greater, Tom.
Do you not think it was?
I think it is. I think you're currently going through it. I think you're currently going through it. Listen, I'm just bringing this up because you have a new podcast.
We appreciate it.
You need to.
You know what? It's another.
I can't just come here and talk about projects that I got and where to follow me on Yelp. But I mean, it's there's currently at this juncture of your new endeavor. It needs to be addressed.
We totally agree, and we appreciate your perspective.
You mind if I ask you a couple more questions?
Sure
Please.
thing, man. Let me just say one thing else.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, listen, I just want to say also, I want to apologize to you for saying that on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh, Jerry.
That was not.
It's all right, man.
That was not a cool thing for me to say.
Well,
and
that means a lot, man.
I want to apologize for saying that you weren't a man. I was heated in the moment.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I apologize.
I appreciate that, man. You're a great guy.
What were you going to say? Sorry, before I interrupted.
I was going to say, if it helps, I obviously fully regret what I did. I fully fucking regret it. I feel bad about it. I hate that I hurt people. I, for the most part, have been pretty fucking miserable. And I don't ever want to go through what I went through again. And I don't ever want to be responsible or the cause for ever hurting people like that and causing that kind of shit ever again. I'm going to do everything in my power to never do that again and to never get lost and caught up in a situation like that.
What would you have done differently?
I wouldn't have hooked up to begin with Rachel. I, would have gotten out of my relationship, ripped the Band-Aid off, not delayed. That's that whole scenario. I think I got caught up in trying to create the perfect breakup, but it was way beyond that because I saw what Tom and Katie went through and I wanted to do it better, do it smoother. We were a different relationship than Tom and Katie, Ariana and I. It always is different. But I don't know, man. It's so, I could have done 100,000 things differently, But there's this weird thing. Obviously, I regret what I did. There is like a few positive things that I do hang on to, because it helps. And that is, I was on a path that was not great. I was drinking all day, every day, chain smoking cigarettes, going out constantly, chasing the dragon, running away from everything, hiding. And, when this happened, I was forced to take a really hard look at my life, really analyze and say dude, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? This is not a path that leads to a long, healthy life. This is a short, Betelgeuse star that burns bright and, supernovas pretty quickly in the grand scheme of things. So, it did help me or cause me to change, my habits. And really also to put in perspective certain things that are important, also see what relationships were more meaningful, I feel like, than others. Truer connections.
Friendships,
connections, yeah.
Would you say you're more honest today?
Yes.
A more honest person.
But I'm also more guarded. So
Guarded about your personal life with other people?
yeah.
In relationships?
Yeah, just in general. I am a lot more on guard around people too, because I'm constantly filmed all the time, everywhere I go.
A lot of paparazzi and stuff following you all the time now?
Crazy.
Still camped outside my house. It's been a little bit lighter lately. But as of just like a week ago, they were there every day.
Does it make you paranoid?
Yeah. You just don't fight it. You just let them do their thing. It's their job. You just let them. There's no running from them. You're not like, there's no reason to get mad at them. They're just doing their job. They're just there. You just accept it.
Take me through your day-to-day life. I mean, I know your living situation is...
You know about my roommate?
I know about your roommate.
Okay.
I'm not in touch with your roommate or anybody. If you don't want to talk about it, I understand. But that's got to be... Hey, listen, I also know someone who is going through a divorce right now, who has to live with the person they are going to be... They're in the midst of divorcing.
Yeah.
And they have to cohabitate.
Because of interest rates right now.
Well, it's...
That's part of it.
Damn market.
It's actually... explain your living situation. Like
we're on opposite sides of the house, and we're obviously trying to figure out exactly our next move. Because we thought we had it figured out, and then we kind of like, But it's really not that big of a deal in that sense. Like, there's plenty of room in this house to be on separate sides. We both, yes, while filming Vanderpump Rules, we were obviously not traveling a lot, but before leading up to that, we were both traveling a lot, and now afterwards, we're both traveling a lot.
I mean, it's I've had roommates. I've had roommates in my time. I lived with my brother. I lived with a guy who who's worked in the entertainment industry. I worked with two guys. I lived with two guys from college. I mean,
did you live with like a guy that was like Brad Pitt's character in True Romance, smoking weed out of a honey bear, like on the couch the whole time?
No,
I've had one of those.
I did have a pot smoking roommate, but I really liked him. God, I sound so old right there. And a roommate who smoked marijuana all the time, out of a water bong.
You were asking earlier, like what has changed? What do I do? I'm pretty physically active, work out every day.
Where?
At the house.
Oh, at the house.
Yeah, I built a gym in that house.
Okay.
And which is great.
Listen to music when you do that?
Yeah, and I watch movies. Currently watching Peaky Blinders.
Watching what? Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Well, to put subtitles
so
up there.
So you watch Peaky Blinders and you just like rip some arms and do some back?
I do a lot of running and biking and stuff, and then I do guided meditation. I love Headspace. It's a great app.
Okay.
I journal. I do breathing exercises. Shout out to Dr. Vu. He's done some great work with me. That has really helped with not drinking and not like smoking cigarettes. I mean, dude, I was like chain smoking.
Sure.
Fucking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Did you ever smoke cigarettes?
I've been smober for over 10 years now.
Oh, good for you. That's
Major.
awesome.
Hardest thing.
Dude, so hard.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But good. I'm glad that you're healthy. I mean, listen, Tom, what I'm hearing is that you are starting to become honest with the most important person, which is yourself, Tom. I mean, that's while we should be held accountable for our actions with other people, at the end of the day, it's just us.
Yeah.
And our heads hitting the pillow. And, I mean, I want to make sure after all this, you're honest with yourself, Tom,
Yeah.
Totally. And I think there's been a lot of growth. I've definitely seen it. And if for a second, if anybody thinks that during this whole thing, Tom has leaned into the villain role and has loved it. It could not be any farther from the truth.
No.
When we were on, during this whole thing, I think a complete depression from this whole thing is just, that's not even enough to describe it. I mean, we were on tour one time, because I'm the drummer and the manager, so I'm doing a lot of managing while we're on the road. And there was one day when we were in Chicago, and Tom, the band usually goes to the venue first, and we're loading in and we're doing stuff. Tom usually will come after because he's working out. And Tom was not at the venue yet, and he was supposed to be there. And this was like in May, and so very heavily into Scandoval, tough times. I'm calling Tom, he's not answering. I called the hotel to call Tom. He said he's not answering, and I'm like, oh boy, what's going on? What's going on?
How scared were you?
Like completely scared. Like 10.
1 to 10.
10, because there were parts of when
What were you mostly afraid of?
That Tom was dead. Because there were parts of the tour where Tom was like, there were great parts of the tour, not great parts of the tour, but also even the great parts of the tour, Tom, was depressed. And not that he was upset because people were upset with him, because I think Tom was upset because he was upset with himself. And people don't understand that. And you could fuck up and be depressed because of that. And that's what was going on. And I remember going to the hotel, getting a room key, walking to Tom's room, and standing there with the room key in my hand and not wanting to put it in there, being like, Tom, I'm going to go in there and Tom's going to be dead. And putting it in there and,
I remember you telling me
and
this, yeah.
Going in, and Tom was in bed. And I really was like, oh my God, like, Tom is dead. He was just sleeping. But I really was like, I
do sleep hard.
He sleeps pretty hard. But I really was so certain that Tom was dead. And it was because of how hard those times were. And again, this is not me or Tom being like, feel bad for me, I'm the victim here. That's not it at all. And people, for some reason on social media and people in this situation, they cannot separate the two. And if anybody who's known someone who's depressed for any reason, they know what that is. Like if you've known anybody who's been seriously depressed where they have had suicidal thoughts, it's scary as fuck. And Tom was one of my best friends in the world. He's family and he's like a brother. And to be there and so for those people who are not sure if Tom was, felt bad what he did or if he was upset, like he was, and to
Yeah.
So it's.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
You were obviously on tour all summer.
Yeah. For that month.
Did
yeah.
All of this drama affect the tour?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How so?
So it affected it where a lot of venues were still, some venues are a little nervous to book us because they're a little nervous because they don't know if people are going to come because they're going to come to not riot, but they're going to come to disrupt and fight where we've had fights at our shows.
Yeah.
Are they going to?
I didn't realize it, but.
I didn't know about these fights at the shows.
Yeah, we have fights.
What happens? There's
fights between the quote unquote pro Tom people and the quote unquote anti Tom people, where they'll literally they'll start arguments and fights in the crowd. We've had this at almost every single show. It's not crazy fights where there's police need to be called, but enough to where we'll be playing and all of a sudden we'll see security come and grab people out of the audience. There's that. There's venues who will hear the booker or the owner's oh, we can't wait to, great, we can't wait to book you. And then it's the owner's wife's friend is very anti-Tom. And then they're oh no, we're not interested anymore. But that just doesn't affect Tom. That affects the 8-person band that Tom is really giving, their livelihood and also the crew that he supports. And because Tom pays everybody, which he should. These people deserve to get paid. They're professional musicians who are mostly just getting started. But it also, it has, we still are able to go on tour. I mean, there's still people who support the band and who love the band and who love Tom. It's not all bad.
There's some people that will go and have a great time because we're a cover band.
It's so fun. The band is so fun.
We play just 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, hits from all over. And everything from Billy Ocean to Cake by the Ocean to Death
Fall Out
Cab
Boy,
from Cutie to Fall Out Boy
Muse,
to everything. And
the Jackson 5.
Yeah, and everybody's singing along, having a blast, and then some people you see them, they're like singing along, rocking out the whole time, and then they literally like leave and they'll just like do a quick little video where they're like flipping off flipping it, like basically saying we did not have fun here.
Or it's so funny. Sorry, Tom. Some people will come, and Tom was talking about this a little bit, where it's like, and you've asked Jerry, like, do people you ever like in the street or at like Whole Foods, and people come and show you that hate? There have been times before where there will be like a row of 8 people who are straight up in the front, holding, at the gate there, at the front of, the crowd, who are like
the mosh pit.
Yeah, the mosh pit. The most anti-Tom people in the world, who got there first to show their hate, literally middle fingers up and Tom, this close to Tom, the whole time with signs on their phones. Fuck you, Tom. Go kill yourself. Fuck you.
It's been a while.
Team Ariana, like, fuck you, the whole time, screaming in his face. And Tom is just doing his thing, rocking and rolling. And, it's funny to them. They think it's funny and it's funny games, but like, at what point is like, it just like, this is just a fucking person trying to just not be like a narcissist, like living his rock star dream, but just out there like trying to do a job, enjoy himself. We're working, there's a crowd of like 1,000 people enjoying also. You just have to say,
we got like babysitters for their like,
yeah, like people come, they spend money on these tickets, and that's why I always say like, there's
some people
how
too,
much does he have to
want to be? They want to be like a part of it too. They want to just be a part of it.
Like, how much punishment is enough punishment? And it's also like the band gets the hate too. Like Maddie, one of our other singers,
she gets a lot.
So much hate because she's a female,
like the sweetest person.
Who was so. This is another thing you asked, like, are people scared to come on the podcast? Are people scared to be in the band? Some of them are. And Maddie, who's such an amazing person, an amazing singer. She was like on The Voice. She's phenomenal. She's up there with Tom also. She gets so much hate because she's a female who is supporting Tom. I mean, obviously not what he did. She doesn't support. None of us support what Tom did. But we're there in the band. We're a team. She's up there and she gets vicious hate. I mean, people are so vicious to her a lot of the time. And it's like, does she deserve that? Does like our sax player deserve that? Does our bass player deserve that? Like, no, but they don't care. So, but that's fucked up of them. That's wrong of them. But are they being held accountable? Of course they're not. So I would ask like all of these questions, really. That's
Jason.
I'm
Jason
sorry.
gets pissed about it. I don't care.
Tom is cool as a cucucber.
I don't really care as much about it.
I want to run up for my drums and be like, what the hell? But I just get, I don't know, I get heated.
Tom,
Jared.
how does it make you feel hearing that your bandmates feel the vitriol,
it sucks. I hate hearing about that. That's like the worst to me. I don't want those people like having to suffer because of me.
Well, tell me about those emotions. Do you feel responsible? Do you?
Yeah, of course I do. I do. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I mean, it has tapered off. It's gotten definitely better. I think a lot of times, there's a ton of people that have come out to see us that are like on the fence or they're haters. They want to come out, they want to express their hate towards me. And then within like a third of the way through, they're like, this is exhausting. Like, let's go grab another shot and let's have fun.
Totally.
That happens like 95% of the time.
100%.
People come out there, they're like, we're gonna fuck shit up, like, and then they're like, this is awesome, and then they just have a great time, and then they end up staying and like I get take pictures with them, and then they tell me that they're like, we came out here to fucking hate on you. We came out here to cause a little ruckus, and we had so much fun. And I'm like always so sweet. I make sure and take to them. I take pictures of everybody. They're wearing scumbag and cheaters shirts. They're wearing like worm with a mustache. I'm like, hey man. I'm like, Jerry. I don't like when people judge what I wear. I'm not gonna judge what you wear.
Is that why you shaved the mustache, because of the worm with the mustache, or was it just time for the mustache to go?
It was time. You know me, I've had a lot of different looks. I have had a lot of different looks.
Jason, do you want to say something?
I just had a question for you because you've been in the public eye for a really long time.
Sure.
Have you ever made a mistake that really affected somebody in your personal life? And if so, did you feel the need to apologize to the public? Like, I think that's the disconnect.
I'm going to take accountability for my actions here. I have not been faithful in relationships before I was married. I didn't take accountability at the time. I mean, this is going to sound like an excuse. I was a much younger man than you are, Tom. I was in my 20s.
I'm 26, man.
I'm only 19.
So that's not an excuse. And so, Tom, I have not been faithful in previous relationship, not my marriage, please. That's not the headline here. I love my wife. We're completely
I can't
faithful.
wait.
Love her. Just got to drive home. By the way, my wife was one of the people who were like, "Why are you doing that podcast?"
Oh, no. We gotta get her
I'm
on
sorry,
next
guys.
Oh no.
But
I think it's
sorry,
a
honey.
fucking power move, man. I honestly respect you so much more for literally hitting me up right away and then showing up here like the day of, man. That takes some guts, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I gotta give you a fucking hand, man.
There's
Dude,
no
you're
applauding. That said, that relationship that I was unfaithful in, it was for 1/10 the relationship you were in. I'm sorry, I'm not comparing. And it wasn't we weren't here's why I think there is so much anger. We were all along for the ride. We feel like we were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning. So I think that's where it's coming from. And it's funny, recently I can't believe I'm talking about people who aren't here, but recently Drew Barrymore went through a very sort of negative couple weeks because there was a writer's strike, and Drew said that Drew was going to come back and do her show without her writers, and Drew received a lot of backlash from everyone. And it was funny. I was watching it, and I noticed that a lot of other celebrities had a lot of anger toward her that they posted publicly. And I was a little shocked at it. I was shocked that they're saying, by the way, these are things that they could have. I mean, I like to slide into some celebrities' DMs. This is something that
Sliders.
they could have said privately, but they said it publicly, and it didn't sit well with me. And I just want to say, it's why when I saw the commercial for your podcast, and there was a close-up of me saying you're not a man, it didn't sit well with me that I said that. And I don't know what to say. There's no concrete answer for when the world will forgive you, Tom.
Right.
I don't know if, everything was messy about your situation. So I think coming out of it is going to be just as messy, maybe even messier, How do you hope people regard you in the future? Where do you see yourself?
I would love for people to maybe go back to thinking of me a little bit more glass half full and less calculated. I'm not a very, wishing Rachel a happy birthday was not calculated. Fucking miss her. I'm not a schemer like that. I don't do that. I do when it comes to surprise parties and things like that. But I don't, that's not the way I spend my time. And that's not the way I choose to spend my time. I like to live in the moment with people and experience awesome times and bond and fucking hug and like love and like.
Especially like, sorry to interrupt, Tom, but how do you remember Tom pre-Scandoval?
You know, Tom, I always regarded you as someone who held yourself accountable and held others accountable. And you were almost like you were maybe the most righteous person on that show. And I think maybe that's why people are so angry.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, that's very cool.
No, I appreciate that. And I
how do people get
tried to.
How do we get back to the old? How do we get back to the old Tom? How does that happen?
I think, you know, all I can do is be better. Try to continue to be better. I'm not perfect, obviously. You're perfect. You're amazing.
No,
I'm not.
You don't live with me. You don't live with me.
No, but we want to live with you. Jerry, where do you live?
I'm really imperfect.
But I think that it's just gonna take time, and I understand that. You know, people can't just like, it's not like, you know, when you're getting hypnotized and they're just like 1, 2, 3, snap out of it. You're away.
Yeah.
You know, you're no longer a circus juggler or whatever. It's you know, it's just gonna take time, and I believe, you know, there's so much power and strength in the truth, and if I continue to live my truth and be real, you know, that people will see that, you know, they will. And that's all I can hope for. That's all I can hope for. But I'm going to continue to try to, you know, love and be happy and create happiness, you know, because that's what I live for. You know, that's, to me, being a better, like, leaving things better than they were, or being a positive effect on a situation or people, like, that's what I fucking live for. That, to me, is powerful. That makes me feel powerful.
What do you want this podcast to project? I mean, this is your second episode, am I correct?
Yeah.
I think sometimes, Jerry, a plan is just a list of things that aren't going to happen. So really, like, I just want to have people like you on and just talk about like what you want to talk about. I mean, I didn't really think we were going to talk about, you know, I mean, I figured we'd talk about some stuff, but, you know, I figured we'd carry on from Scandal and whatever. But I just want to be in the moment and connect and hang out and do that.
And have the challenge. Like, we
Have the
love
challenge.
that. Have the questions. The hard-hitting questions. Seriously, like, we appreciate it.
By the way, is the GHB hitting you yet?
Yeah.
You don't seem like that affected.
No,
I didn't put
we'll
too much.
see
I didn't want you
later
to G out.
when I go home. Let's see if the aphrodisiac kicks in. Let's see if I mean, it's not my birthday, but maybe there'll be some sexy time happening.
I do. I have a gift for you.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Gift for me? You didn't have to do that.
Do you want to bring it in?
I was. It was my gift to be here.
I have a gift for you because, you know, you said your Team Ariana shirt got ruined in the wash. And so I figured, since, you know, you're probably going to get some hate for coming here, I think this will really help.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, you did take your shirt off on your commercials, so I may as well. You can edit this part out.
Ooh, goddamn.
That part out. Oh, this is really funny. Okay, here we go.
Now, Jerry, you did promise to wear that next time you're on Watch What Happens Live. You did.
No way, I don't want to die.
You did sign the contract, Jerry.
No, they'll kill me. You kidding
Jerry,
me?
you signed the contract, Jerry.
Here we go. Yeah.
Jerry,
We have very serious lawyers, Jerry.
Yeah.
Take it back. Tom, you are a man. You're a man, Tom.
You're a man, dude. And you know what? I really appreciate you coming, dude. I'm just saying,
you.
like, it's beyond, it just shows, like, beyond, like, who you are as a person, man. Like, I really appreciate it, and I think the highest of you, man.
Yeah, you're our second favorite guest, Jerry.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Tom.
Wait, I got a guitar here. Do you still remember how to play Kushlash?
No, I don't. They taught me 2 chords. I don't even know what I was
And Jerry,
doing.
next time you're on, all we're going to talk about is Kangaroo Jack.
Yes, there we go. We're
That's
going to
okay.
talk about Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, I really, really
There
wanted
you go,
to.
guys. That was it. How was that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right. What an interesting episode. Now, I am doing this on my computer, so let me know how it sounds voice-wise, and if I need to adjust anything, I will. But it just never fails to amaze me with this guy. I swear. Like, I'm happy that he's embracing the non-alcoholic drinks, the different concoctions, and just embracing being sober. That's amazing. I just still think he's a little butthurt that Ariana has a new book coming out in December, which if you want to pre-order it, you can pre-order it through my Amazon shop, a link down below. But I just feel like he's kind of upset about that still. And he was totally fanboying Jerry so hard. And Jason too, which I actually thought Jason was funny when he was like, Jerry, lighten up a bit. Like, that was funny. That was. Jerry seems like an incredible dude. He doesn't want to have any issues with anyone. He seems like he's very kind-hearted. He's self-aware of things that he says, so that way he's not directly affecting somebody, and just not wanting to be kind of, well, a heartless asshole. I'm happy, though, that he felt bad for what he said and called Tom, but he still recognized that the actions that Tom did were never acceptable and just plain horrible to do to somebody. I thought it was funny that Jerry made sure to text Big Daddy to let him know that he was going on the podcast. That is also very respectable, and seeing it as a business perspective, that's probably the smart thing to do, so that there's no surprises or conflict or any issues. Not that there would be at this point, but you know what I mean. Jason is right in the respect that we don't know Tom like the people that are closest around him. And we just know him from what we've seen on TV and through the press and podcasts and on IG and all of that. And we've never actually had a sit-down conversation where the cameras were up and filming and actually getting to know him. I personally am good. I'm good. I don't want a one-on-one conversation with him. I don't think that he would enjoy it because I would ask a lot of questions and would not take these walk-around answers that he likes to give. Jason also said, if your best friend did this, would you just walk away? If I was in Sheena's position where this is what happened to my best friend and my other 2 best friends were the ones who hurt them, yeah, hell yeah, I would never talk to his ass again. Nope, sorry. I also believe if my best friend did something like that, covered it up for months, hid it for months, lied to me, I would take that as a sign that I do not know this person and they aren't who I thought they were. They are a completely different person. And if my friend can't come to me and tell me this is what is like happening, and then me tell them this is what needs to be done, and then them disregard my feelings, then no, that's a toxic friendship. And I don't morally agree with what they did. And if I don't see them being remorseful or wanting to change or be better or just do better by the situation, then I definitely can't get behind that either. Now, Jerry, I felt, tried to break it down for Tom so that he would understand, especially when he said, we've been there for a decade, we watched it, we feel a personal connection, and he is hearing people's reactions and their hatred, which may be a problem that people are having, but we aren't hearing remorse. We are seeing him ingest people's reactions, but we aren't hearing accountability. And that is so true. Which from that Tom went into, well, obviously I screwed up. I fucked up. I got way over my head and I've apologized. He's apologized. And then, Jason chimes into it got way too crazy. Jason was saying that he thought that they ended the last episode with a really deep and sincere apology and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, does he really just not get this? Or does he not get it? When someone is truly sorry for their actions and is remorseful, especially if someone is sitting there saying, I don't feel like you are taking accountability, it wouldn't be, well, I've already apologized though. No. It would be more of a, oh my God, Jerry, I am sorry that you or even others are feeling that way. I can express just how sorry I am and how what I did was wrong. And I did this and I should have, thought about everything before even allowing this to happen. This is my fault. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Maybe I was raised differently, but if someone is sorry or are just sorry for what they've done or said, they're going to apologize. They're going to take responsibility and they might keep apologizing because they see the hurt that they've hurt in others. When Jason begs to ask, well, when is saying I'm sorry enough? When will it be accepted? It's not more when, it's more when we see the change. Has he learned from these mistakes? Is he trying to understand? Does he want to be different? Jason asked if Tom apologizes with these people, will they do an interview with him? Would that be enough then? Which that to me I didn't understand. But it possibly could. It depends on the person. Everybody is different. And you can't expect everyone to accept that apology the first time, the second time, or even the third time. They will accept it when they see it and they feel it is sincere. Everybody's different. And to me, I don't think what we've got from him has been a sincere apology at all. Tom also tries making some weird example about, well, James cheated on Rachel and I never expected an I'm sorry from him, which thankfully Jerry shut that down, saying, let's not talk about people that aren't there. And that I found very respectful from Jerry. And in my opinion, Tom was just trying to direct blame onto someone else kind of move. And I just don't think Tom is really seeing it for what it is, and that he is still in need of having that victim mentality, and that he is the issue at hand. I mean, he even thinks that the punishment has fit the crime. Wait, what? In my opinion, no. The punishment that he is talking about wasn't even a punishment that fit the crime. So, what he had a few people at a show singing Sandoval's a liar, Sandoval's a liar. Okay, so you know what you do, Tom? You sing it back with the crowd. You make it funny. I mean, that's the reality. He might have lost the Winter House deal, and honestly, I'm kind of happy he's not going to be on it this year. But he gained other opportunities like Special Forces, The Masked Singer, and gosh knows what else too. But I also think that no punishment is necessary. No one should be doing anything. I think karma will come around. His day will come, and karma will bite him in the ass. That's how karma works. Now, Jerry apologized for Watch What Happens Live, which I think that was his ultimate goal from the start, was when he was explaining how they got here and all of that he was trying to apologize. That's when Tom goes into his apology, hoping that he will, help Jerry see that he's sorry, that he's full of regrets, that he wishes he could take it back, that he is upset, that he does know he's hurt people, that, pretty much this was the worst part of his life, and that he's been miserable, and he doesn't ever, 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 ever want to go through this again, and he doesn't want anyone to ever be hurt by his mistakes. The apology. This, to me, was a better apology than some of the other ones that he's given. And Jerry asked him, what would you have done differently? And he actually answered it with common sense and understanding, unlike before. He says he would never have gone and done what he did. He would have ripped that Band-Aid off and ended the relationship in a much more mature way, which I think that is something he is finally seeing and understanding, because before, he just wasn't getting that either. He got to me when I heard Jason being very worried about his friend and how him possibly walking into Tom's hotel room when they were on tour and possibly finding his friend dead. That is a horrible thing. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. And I understand being depressed and going through a lot of different emotions and just not being yourself or in a good place. And something, just not being right. And sometimes even being on the road with bands and friends can actually help, because you're around people that love and support you, that can uplift you, know what you're feeling and going through. And I just feel like if it was such a low point and that Jason was that scared that he would go into a room and might not find his friend alive, that whole band, as his friends, should have come together and said, is this the best thing for him? And should we maybe be getting him help right now? I'm glad that, that wasn't the case and they actually got through this together. But that was something they should have all sat down and talked about. Now, they started to talk about the venues again and having issues with the venues because of Scandoval and places not wanting to book them because they were scared fights might break out, and that, the wife of the venue owner didn't like Tom, which to me, all of that sounded very exaggerated. Now, I can understand if Tom's band did a show and a huge outbreak, an uncontrollable fight happened, and then other venues being worried and concerned about it possibly happening at theirs and not wanting it to happen at theirs. But that never happened. And if a venue owner's wife is judging you, then that's a little weird, and he needs to reconsider, telling his wife, hey, listen, this is gonna make us money. And in my opinion, that's probably what they were saying. They knew how big this Scandoval was. They probably were like, yeah, let's have them. They saw it as a money income too. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit over the top with the things that they were saying. And I know there were articles back then from Insider, one of them saying someone who attended Tom's show in Long Island. It was a Thursday night, and her name was Tracy, and she documented the entire evening on TikTok. There was 200 people there who attended the event, and it was I guess, a poorly attended event, and they offered a last minute 2-for-1 deal kind of tickets. And I think that they were trying to make that an issue back then, and it really wasn't. 200 people is not bad for a freaking cover band. Not bad at all. I think they were just trying to get, a couple more seats filled for the last minute opportunity. But we'll never know their whole reason. I do have that TikTok to show you guys, but I live across the water from Long Island. I'm very close to them. That's not a show that I would even spend my time or money or even traveling to go see. Like, I'm not a cover band person, and I don't know, like, I know there are people that are cover band people, and, like, honestly, this cover band goes from, like, Queen, Somebody to Love, to, like, Outkast, Bombs Over Baghdad, and, Toadies, Africa, like, these songs don't go together. It's a variety that just doesn't work for some people. And I'll tell you this, the only cover bands that I am willing to go see are Badfish, which does like Sublime covers, the Australian Pink Floyd band, they're fucking incredible. Or the Machine tribute band to Pink Floyd, they're also freaking incredible. Those are like the only ones I would go see. That would be worth my time and money. Now, I do have Tracy's video to show you, along with a couple other TikToks of concerts that people attended of Sandoval's. So I want to take a look first at Tracy's, and then we'll take a look at the other one. I just want you to see, for context, some of these shows. All right, let's see. This one that we have here is from Jess Britt Vick, who went to the Pittsburgh show.
I went to a Tom Sandoval and the Most Extra show, so you don't have to. We drove 20 minutes to a bar outside of Pittsburgh, which, no hate, it was a cool venue. It was like a bar and grill situation with outside seating and then the stage. The show was supposed to start at 8, Tom came on at 8:45. He, of course, did Stacey's mom, TS version, like a Stanford Tom Sandoval version, or Tom Schwartz version. We got some Vanderpump lyric swaps along with the notorious Raquel. He played around a lot with some experimental movement. We had some like robot variation here, avoiding accountability, like just making shapes, man, making shapes. Tom, the pants just aren't conducive to this type of movement. The band overall is super talented, especially this queen, loved her. Back to Billy Bongo. He then started doing crowd work, taking people's phones, singing to them, grabbed my husband's hand. I'm never deleting this video, it's so funny. Listen, I'll be a hater whenever it's appropriate, but the body is looking good, I'll give him that. He changed the lyrics instead of I'm coming home to you to coming home at 4 a.m. Overall, I'm confused if I was in like a Shutter Island situation where everybody just kind of agreed to play into this man's delusions, or if people were genuinely like group orgying like this. And I'm not sure, but I was scared. Okay, and listen to this, he mentions a scandal.
Sang that song, fell on the floor, and my phone fell out. Man, it was a fucking crazy day. I feel like I've been through so much these past few months. A lot of self-inflicted. But I just want to say thank you to all of you. All you guys that have supported me through this tough time. I couldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, so.
There were people in Team Ariana shirts and some James and Lala merch. I did see this Team Ariana sign. Some people were saying she got kicked out. I'm not sure if that's true. The show ended with Tom handing out drinks to the crowd. He did a toast with a beer bottle, but I do believe this is a 0 proof Heineken. I did read he is 50 days sober, and I think that's wonderful. Quick glance at the merch table, then we headed home to debrief. I love having a husband who's into Vanderpump.
It's like I'm watching season 11 and they're live. He's playing the victim saying, thank you for supporting me. Bitch, you did it! Even though we connected, we held hands for a second, but still.
Next up, we have this one from Reality Oops, who has a great Bravo reality TV TikTok account. I will link them down below. They are pretty funny, and you guys got to pay attention to the end of this TikTok. For those women to go through that much work to have a sign that says pay your mom is kind of funny, though. I mean, they weren't causing any trouble. They were outside the area of the event where they were doing this pride event. But yeah, that was kind of funny, just a little bit. Now, this next one is from a creator as Faded as My Jeans. They went to the Houston show, and this is Tom changing up the lyrics and what not to make the situation of. Like, he's making the whole situation that he's in a meme or a joke, and that's what gets people upset, because it's not a joke destroying and breaking someone's heart like he did, and then throwing the affair in people's faces, and then he wonders why people get mad or upset. This is what he does.
Your mom came out wearing just a tom-tom hoodie and thong. Tom-tom hoodie and thong. Well, I can tell she liked me by the way she stared. The way she stared. And by the way she said there are no cameras back there. No cameras back there. Now I know you think it's just a fantasy, but since she left your dad, your mom could use a guy like me. Schwartz's mom has got it going on. She's all that I want, and I waited so long. Schwartzy, can't you see that Raquel is hot for me? I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Schwartz's mom.
Now, these are just some of the TikToks that are out there. There are a lot of other TikToks, easy to search, all of that. When Jason was describing, though, how it would be like 8 people in the front of the pit, not mosh pit, aka standing floor, but would come early holding their middle fingers the entire time, or holding up signs saying, F you, Tom, go kill yourself. Then also throwing in like the Team Ariana. But I just kind of feel like he was exaggerating some facts. I watched a lot of TikTok videos, not to mention I also read a lot of these VPR articles and the Reddits, and I have seen people suggest maybe going to a show, having a sign with a funny saying on it. You know, it's not uncommon for people to bring signs to concerts, just saying. But, you know, nothing that was crazy or over the top. Like, I would think that if something like that was happening, that we would have seen it. We would have heard about it. We would have read about it. Like, I just feel like it was exaggerated. And Tom even giggled. And he's like, it's been a while. But out there, I think some of these insane events, like people screaming back at Tom the entire time, would be something someone would record. We would have seen it. I'm still trying to remain unbiased. I really like Jason from the first episode. And I don't know, this one, he's just not rubbing me the right way. And again, with the Maddie stuff, I don't get it. If people are hating on Maddie, cut the shit out. And in my opinion, I don't know if this ever happened. And it seems like maybe like one thing was said or something, and now they're kind of dragging it out to be worse than it was. I do remember there being like an accusation saying that Tom was dating Maddie at one point on like a blog or an article or something, and it got shut down very fast. Of course, you're going to have those couple negative comments because people don't know any different. They don't do their research to know and see. But I just feel like that was kind of exaggerated too. Again, they were bringing it up this episode. Like, but for real though, if you are hating on this woman, cut the shit. Because that's just way below the belt. Now, I love that Jerry asked too if he shaved his mustache because he was called a worm with a mustache. That was just great. I loved it. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I do have a funny graphic that I do like to put in my videos of a worm and a mustache. And I also like to use the lightning bolt, so be on the hunt for those. But Jerry also took some accountability too, saying like he was a cheater in the past and he is responsible for what he did to his ex. And I also think that like there's a big difference. He wasn't in a relationship where he saw a future with this woman. It wasn't his fiance or his wife. He was young. He wasn't almost 40 with somebody that was planning to spend the rest of his life with. And, you know, even without this ring, they were together, hopefully forever in their minds. They saw each other as a married couple without the ring. There are differences, and I hate when it's always like reiterated that, well, you know, this is how it was. No. There are differences between you maybe having a one-night stand or this person cheating on his girlfriend when they were in their 20s, or this person who's almost 40 with the partner that he's planned to spend the rest of his life with, going behind her back for 8 months and having an affair with her best friend. That is different. I just don't get it. My other last thing that really got me was that Tom wanting us to look at him like the glass is half full again. I just can't right now. I can't see the change. I don't see the remorse. I personally cannot do that. I can't say later might be different because I don't know. For me, before Scandoval, I wasn't a huge fan of Tom. Did I think he was caring? Yes. Did I think he was thoughtful of others? Yes. Did I think he was a great guy and that he loved the woman he was with? Yes. Did I know that there were things that I didn't like or agree with? Of course. Did he say and do things that I was like, no way? Yup. But what he did do was he took all of that and he threw it right out the door. I see him as a manipulator. He's a liar. He doesn't care for others, especially the ones that he loves. He has not changed my mind, and I will not see him in a different regard until a lot of work is done. And even what happened between him and Kristen all those years ago when, you know, Ariana did come into his life, I didn't like him then, and it took me a long time to see him for the person that he was, and that he was a better person, and I liked him a little bit more, and I liked that he was, you know, there for Ariana, he was there for his friends, and it took time. It took time. And time, they say, will heal all wounds. So we will just have to wait and see. But as of right now, I cannot see you as that glass is half full. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think he needs to focus on himself alone, and figure out what he wants for his life. Now, I do have one last TikTok that I found. And it is from when I was looking up through Tom Sandoval and those extras on TikTok, and I was like, damn, I have heard about this whole Brittany got a text inviting her and her family to Tom's show in Louisville, Kentucky, but I didn't realize that it was on a podcast. So I want to end it with these thoughts and opinions from our man Jax Taylor. And if you want to hear this podcast, let me know down below, because I'm interested in it. So I think you guys might be interested in it. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. And may sunshine surround you each and every day. Bye, everyone.
The band.
How serious?
Who, what, when, where, why, how? Like,
it's a 9-person band
that he pays everyone basically to hang out with.
On Venmo.
Yeah, on Venmo, right.
Okay.
I'm sure his accountant is like pulling his hair out.
I don't know if he has an accountant. He's got liens up the ass on his house.
I want to get into the finances too, but really just the band. My first question is like, why? Tom Sandoval, and like this is not me being mean. This is just me being like a human being. Tom Sandoval.
Can I say one thing real quick before I forget it? Tom Sandoval, 2 days ago, this is how tone deaf and selfish this person is. He was his band was performing in Louisville. Mm-hmm. He texted Brittany 2 days ago from today. Hey, if you have any friends in Louisville, love to see you. Let's come to my band. I'll get you free passes. I looked at the phone. I go, is he? By the way, nobody knows this yet. We haven't talked about this. Are you fucking serious? This is 2 days ago from today.
Did she respond?
And I said, I look at the phone and I give the phone back to Brittany and I went on my phone. I go, did you ever fucking text my wife again? How dare you? I go, how selfish and tone deaf are you? You do realize Brittany is friends with all these girls.
Right.
What do you think she's going to do? Sure, Tom. Hold on. Let me write down all the names. Let me call them up. They'll be right there. Okay, I'm sorry. Go back to your story. But this just happened and I forgot to tell.
That's crazy.
I know. But anyway, go back to the band.
And that's what a true narcissist does. Like, doesn't realize the gravity of even sending a text like that.
It's like.
Not well.
It's like a serial killer who kills their family and then goes out to the bar and just...
Yeah.
I mean, like, right?
Okay, but the band.
Okay.
And this is just my opinion. Like, Tom Sandoval is not a talented singer.
Correct.
So why would he start a band?
I think it's kind of one of his lifelong dreams. Ever since I've known him, I've known Tom for 20 plus years. We've lived together since we were 19 years old. We started off in Miami together. He wants to be a rock star. That's just who he is. That's just who he wants to be. And great, you should have dreams and goals and whatever.
For sure.
But keep it in your living room.
It's really bad.
It's bad. And you know what? I would give it to him if he was good and be like, yeah, he's a shitty person, but the guy can sing. Or the guy can act or whatever.
Yeah.
But he can't.
No, it's so bad.
And out of the 9 people that are in the band, not one person is saying, does anybody else want to give this a try?
I mean, they're all getting paid
a trumpet player. You want to give this a
They're getting paid $1,000 a day. I would shut up too. Like,
oh,
it's
is that what they're getting? I didn't even know they're getting paid.
I think,
is that what it is? $1,000
that's what
a day?
he was saying. Why he's so stressed earlier in the season. He was like literally at this recording studio, Venmoing all the people who had to spend the day with him practicing and like getting ready for tour.
So the travel, the outfits, the 9-person band, the hotels. I mean, you're not Metallica, dude. You're not Journey. Okay, like who's paying these people? And now I'm getting they're doing free concerts. So who's paying for this?
Okay, so that's what I want to talk to you about because you actually have extensive knowledge of what someone in Tom Sandoval's position is making from the show, right? You were on the show for a very long time, and I'm sure towards the end you were making a lot per episode.
Right.
I won't make you say, but I am curious. So you know how much money he probably has. You know, right?
But he spends a lot.
So that's between the house.
Oh, the house and
the bar.
And the car.
And the
He's
cars.
got the brand new Mercedes SUV.
Right.
He overspends.
How much trouble is he in?
He's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
In finance.
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if you ignite me's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling this or never getting bored. Loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the party. If you